Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to get started is click on Start our 2D sketch. All of our planes will come up. We'll have our different options. In this one, we're going to click on the XY plane. Okay. Then the next thing, we're going to go into the rectangle options, and I'm going to use a 2-point center, although any of the rectangles will work. This will just keep it centered on my screen. I'm going to click one time and then pull out a little bit, and my mouse will allow me to move this in and out. The number that's highlighted at the top of the screen, I can change that. When the blue is highlighted, I can type in there. So rather than having to drag this out until I get to the size that I need, I'm simply just going to enter my top dimension, which is 25 inches. I'm going to hit the Tab key on my keyboard to move over to the side, enter my 15 for my other dimension, and then I'm going to hit enter. At this point, my rectangle goes off of the screen, so I can utilize my zoom options over on the side. I can hit the home key. Either way, it's going to bring me back into focus. Now that I have my first rectangle, I'm going to finish this sketch, and I need to now give it a third dimension. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to extrude this. The extrusion in our diagram tells us we need to extrude it 12 inches. So I'm going to enter 12 over here and then hit enter. Again, each time after I finish something, I'm going to hit the home and bring it back into focus. Now I need to add my cylinder onto the front of my 3D angle block. So I'm going to click Start a New Sketch, click on this first front, and since I know the cylinder is up in this quadrant, I want to go ahead and draw it over in that area so that I don't have to move it as much. I'm going to click one time, and again, when that blue number is highlighted, I don't have to drag this and get perfectly to 5. I can simply enter 5 on my keyboard, hit enter, and my circle is done. I need to shut the circle feature off, so I'm going to right click and hit OK. Now, in order to move this circle where I want to, I have to be in sketch mode still. So since I am still in sketch mode, I'm able to move it. But if you drew your circle and then hit finish sketch, you can't move this circle until we go back into the sketch mode. So I could come over to my side menu, hover over, I see the white circle of sketch 2. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go back into edit sketch. That allows me to now move this where I need to be. I'm going to hit the dimension tool at the top, click on the top line, click on the center of my circle, pull out. I want to dimension the center of this circle 5 inches from the top. Now I'm going to do the same thing from the side. I'm going to click on the side, again the center of my circle, and make sure that I dimension that 5 inches as well. Now my circle is where I need it to be, so I can finish sketch, and I'm going to now give it a third dimension. I'm going to have to click on that. I need to extrude it 8 inches. When we use the extrude feature, it likes to repeat the same extrusion that we just finished, so it extruded it 12 inches, so I need to go back in and change that to 8. After I've got that, I can hit OK. Now I need to add in the rounding of this edge and the front edge. Okay, the fillet tool is up at the top. I can click this. I can always move that box out of the way. I'm going to click my inner edge, my outer edge, because I can do them at the same time. Here is where I'm going to change the number. I'm going to go ahead and enter 1. I need to hit apply, and then I can close this. Now in the model that you saw, there may not be these lines. They're just the lines of the sketch, and they're fine to leave there. I need to also round, but at a different size, this edge and this edge. In my diagram, it does tell me that I'm rounding these at 2 inches, so that's why I wanted to do them separate from here, because these were 1-inch roundings, these are 2-inch roundings. So I rounded those. Again, I hit apply, and then I can close this out. The last thing I need to do is I need to chamfer this corner. That's where we dock the corner off rather than rounding. This option is located right beside the fillet tool, so I'm going to hit that, pick that edge, And then again, I can change my numbers anywhere in here. I'm gonna do that the same as I did the others. I'm gonna go ahead and dock it at 2 inches. Then I'm going to hit apply, and then I can close that box out. Then when I look at this from the front, I can see the same angling as what I have in my drawing. This edge is docked, this one is rounded, and this one is rounded as well. Now, if I had accidentally rounded this corner rather than docking it, I could go in, hover over what I had just done. It highlights it in white, and I could right click on it and hit delete, and it goes away. Okay. If I needed to edit, let's say the size, I can go back in there and go into edit feature, and I can change that at any point. Now I need to change the color of this block. To make it easier, I could change each of these items that you see highlighted one at a time, or I can come over, click on extrusion 1, and then I can come up to the top. I can pick a color, and I can change the whole thing, or I can change the one item. So again, if I want to click here, change the whole thing at the same time. Okay, now that allows me to change the main areas. Any of the areas that I've done before, I can hit the control key and I can color and highlight them blue, then go in again and I can change the colors of those at the same time. So if I click and hold control, I can highlight and select all of these items at the exact same time to be able to change my color. Once I have finished this, again, I'm going to repeat the process of saving and uploading. I'm going to File, Save As. I'm going to name this with at least my last name, and then something that relates to the assignment. So this was assignment 1.5.3, so I can call this Bennett 153. Make sure to change this to desktop so that it saves it to your desktop and it's easy to find. I can hit save. It saves that block for me. I can see the name of it up at the top, and then it is ready to upload into the assignment in Canvas.